Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's always a delight to be in Zuri Circle. It's always a delight. When I get any message from Eva, Lydia, or Linda, I'm always excited that, okay, there's something good that's just around the corner. Thank you so much. How's everyone doing today? How are we all doing today?
Very well.
Yeah, Faith, please go ahead. How are you doing, Faith? Go ahead, please.
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Faith. We can also make use of the chat box. How's our month been? Did we win this month? How has it been for us? Was it challenging? What are our wins? Was it a productive month for us? It was a productive one for me. I hope that's the same for you as well.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, very productive. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Adeze. Thank you. As Lydia shared, I will be speaking on infrastructure to scale and the strategic boundaries and also the art of saying no, especially without burning bridges. While I share my screen, I would like to know, take a survey, with everyone in the room. How many decisions do we make every day for our businesses? So things like I make 30 decisions every day. Out of those 30 decisions, how many impact my business positively and how many are actually redundant to my cost of strategic growth? Let's be truthful to ourselves. How many decisions are we making every day? How many is actually impacting the business and how many is not? Just a very quick survey. We'll highlight, project my screen. There are no wrong answers. We're here to learn. So let's just see answers pop up on the chat box. We make decisions every day. Let's acknowledge those decisions and just put a figure to it and think through very quickly, like, okay, decision I made yesterday, how many things actually align with our mission and objective for what we do?
Okay, so we have somebody that shared in the comments. She said, I do not count the numbers, but whenever I think of something that will be beneficial for my business, I implement or write them down. Can you hear me?
Yes, we're together.
Another person said, Margaret, I think every action taken or not taken is a decision. Then Oluwa Busayomi said, not all my decision was quite productive. Adeze, one of our power mentors, said, I would say 5 to 10 decisions daily, depending on the task for the day. Averagely, 80% impacts my business. Somebody is asking for the question again.
Okay. I think we'll just jump right into it. You can keep the comments coming. Let the comments keep coming. We'll review them as we progress. Review them. Some says 80% impacts, 5 to 10 decisions daily. Okay. I'm glad that we're able to filter through to say, okay, this is what I know that we make more decisions for our businesses during, in the course of the operations of the day. How many things do partners, customers, different stakeholders internally and externally, how many things do they pull us into? And because, 1, we don't know how to say no. 2, we don't know how to prioritize rightly. 3, because you're the founder, everything must land on your laps. We just say yes, or you're always available, saying yes to everything. If you think through again, you see there are petty things your staff pull you into. There are petty things that take your time. There are petty things that partners will say, oh, you need to show up here. And it also going to align with the objectives of that partnership or the objectives of your business. And then we go ahead and say, oh, yeah, because I respect him. Or, oh, he's machismo or this male ego. Or let them not say a woman comes off too strong. And then you go, oh, yes. And then we're all too courteous, doing ourselves in the service. So again, the topic, thank you for sharing. Thank you, Adeze. Thank you, Aduni. Thank you, Oluwa Busayomi. Thank you, Mag. Thank you, Saidat. Thank you so much. So our topic again is the infrastructure to scale, executive defense systems, scaling through strategic boundaries, and the art of saying no. It's a mouthful, but just know that today we are saying no. If there's anything you want to take on the topic, what did I learn from this session? It's just to say no, how to say no and stand by it. Please confirm with emojis if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can, and we are reacting.
Thank you for that. So there are pressures we face every day as women leaders. Sometimes we acknowledge them, sometimes we don't even know that that's happening. But we're always pressured to tell people yes. First, it starts with social conditioning, to be agreeable and accessible. You hear people say, that person, if it's a woman boss, no, she's going to come off strong. If she's a female, woman get wahala. If you even see them driving on the road, you see men making comments, leave them a woman now, that's what they do. So because of those things, just because we don't want to look bad based on our agenda and the stereotypes attached to it, we have been institutionalized, we have been conditioned to always be agreeable and accessible. We're always put under pressure to over-deliver and prove credibility. We're always seeking validation from people, and sometimes from people who are not even worth validating. Community and family expectations have put us there as well. The fear of being labeled as difficult or uncooperative, even our investors and stakeholders, even the staff we work with. The power dynamics around it, oh, that's a woman, she's going to be difficult. Oh, that's a woman, we have to put her in her place. Over the years, I've had people tell me, I have your type in the house, so you should say yes, or you should not say anything. I've had people say, you have people who you contracted for a job, maybe not directly, you get people who report to you to do the work, and then you just have high-level supervision over it. And then you have a conversation with them and they go, no, I can't work with her, no, a woman cannot tell me what to do. So in that regard, sometimes I look at them and I look at their their ignorance. So because I'm a woman, you will not do your business. Because I'm a woman, you will not enter into contract with me. And sometimes it's sad to see these things, right? Because at the end of the day, they just show how fragile their esteem is, or the extent to their mentality. Women go through these things every day, and that's why we have Zuri Circle. There's a strong support system. You're facing anything, I'm very sure that you have the right support system to share your burden, share how you feel, and you have the right people to encourage you and steer you right. We face these things every day. We're pressured into it. Oh, let me be accessible to, even to your staff. You see people come and say, oh, that's not the way to talk. I'm a married man. We have people we want to make supplies to. We have people we want to go into partnerships with. And then they go, oh, because you're a woman. And wait till we conform to that, because sometimes we seek this partnership and then we go with a man to front it, so that we get the work or we get the gig. All those things, one way or the other, impacts our social standing. It impacts our esteem. It's sad to see most women conform instead of being proud leaders, instead of being proud business owners, dim their lights just because of social stereotypes. But that's why we're here today. Lydia mentioned this is a war room, so that's why we're here today. That's what we dealt with. I heard she said, oh, don't bring your guns. Bring your guns and deal with that part of yourself. Deal with that part of yourself. If there's anyone you cannot deceive, it's yourself. If you're objective and clear enough to tell yourself the truth, you will bring out your guns and shoot out this pressure that have made us confirm over time. What's the real cost of weak boundaries? Every time we're accessible to everyone. And what's that impact to our business? Because you're a woman who is in business, you have competitors. You make yourself very accessible, you make your products very accessible, you're not pricing with the right margins. That's the cost here. Revenue leakage and poor margins. You're not up to date on what's acceptable. Oh, let my product be acceptable. Let it be accessible with everyone. I'm growing. Once my customers see that my products are cheap, I'm going to say yes to everybody who wants a discount. Oh, because I'm buying 10 means that I can give you 5 for free. Let me exaggerate. Because somebody says, oh, I want a continuous supply of 2 dozens of your products. And then you say, oh, I'm going to give you, for every 2 dozen you buy, I'll add 6 for free. It doesn't help the business. That's not you growing, because everybody has access to your product. That's not you growing because you said yes. You can negotiate rightly and say, oh, if you get 2 dozen and you make it constant, for every 5th order from you, we will give you 6 pieces. You've already given them a discount on the 2 dozens they want to buy. Somebody comes, oh, for every 3rd purchase, you're going to get this. So for them to want that, and you'll be firm with it. I'm coming from far. Oh, people are getting this. You know the value of what you're offering. You know the value of your product and your service. Everybody has a market everywhere. Everybody has a market everywhere. You price it right. You give them value, added value with a discount at their 3rd or 5th purchase. People who want to do business with you will stay. And because of your integrity, they will keep returning. Not able to say no leads to burnout and decision fatigue. Oh, ma, we need this one. Yes, I'm coming. Ma, we need you in this meeting. Yes, I'm coming. We need you for this partnership conversation. Yes, I'm coming. Oh, you need to travel to this place. I'll be right there. All with the mindset of I want to grow my business. If the cost of growth is equally proportional to your revenue, you're not growing. It's highly, very, very inefficient. You say yes every time, you need to burn out. You do everything at the office, all your operational work, depending on the business you do, everything lies on the table. If you're not in the room, nothing happens. It doesn't show that you're a good leader, because you always want to lead by example. It doesn't mean you have to be everywhere at every time making decisions. Whether we like it or we like it, if every decision lands on our table, and that's what I term selfish leadership. You think, oh yes, because I'm doing it. So why did you hire people to do it? What systems have you put in place so that these decisions don't lie on your table? As a business owner, you should deal with strategic goals of the business, not the day-to-day operations. If you continue having to deal with operational tasks, operational decisions, you would have burnout. And then decision fatigue will set, because at the end of the day, you won't be making the right decisions. You will not think strategically, you will not think clearly. That's where you have strategic drift and loss of focus, because you're functional, you're not strategic. You're just going through the motions. Let's make sure that with this level we stay on this level. But you have people who are working with you. If it's a business that is run by one person, what are the things you have put in place that will not take away your time from being strategic to scale your business? Are you making content every day? Making content every day will not scale your business. Do you have to be the one to make posts every day? Now we have systems and softwares that can schedule these things. If you have the bandwidth enough to hire somebody, maybe 30, 50K to do that work, so that you take enough time from your table and you're able to think strategically. At the end of the day, because you say yes to everyone, I'm sure your calendars most times will be double booked. People who you have said yes to, you have to go back to them and say, oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't know I was double booked. Or oh, something happened. I already took too much orders, so I'm going to move you to the next batch. That causes reputational damage because you overpromised, and then because you said yes to everyone. At the end of the day, you think you're scaling your business because your customers have increased. You're actually scaling chaos because there's no system, there's no structure in place to help you with that bit of the work, so that you actually scale value and attract the right people to your business. Saying yes every time creates weak boundaries about you. It doesn't even put yourself, it doesn't put you as a strategic leader in your business. There are people who come to work for you. At the end of the day, they go back with their paycheck. But are you inspirational to them? Do you stand as a light, guiding them towards the organizational objectives? Let's hear what this person has to say. A very quick video on what it actually takes to scale your business.
There's 2 things you have to know before you go to try to scale your business. My name is Ken Slogan. I want you to pay very close attention to what I'm saying here. If you are a successful entrepreneur and you're looking to scale your business, you have to first know that what got you here will not get you there. That's first and foremost. All the thinking of a hustler actually works against you when you're trying to scale a business, because naturally you're trying to jump in and do everything, which leads me to number 2. It is all about systems, processes, leverage, and people. You have to get good at putting systems, processes, leverage, and people in place, or else scaling, quite frankly, is off the table.
Did we hear that? If you have to do everything, that's not you growing. That's not you scaling at all. And here's the uncomfortable truth about growth. Most businesses don't fail because they lack ambition. You know the business you started, you did your due diligence, you made extensive research. But at the point where you try to scale, instead of scaling value, instead of scaling in alignment with your set mission and vision, you scale chaos. You have more customers, you have more orders, you have more opportunities. But because you're not having the right system and structure in place, because you're not setting boundaries for things to actually work and thrive independent of you, the business remains where it is. But you are seeing that revenue is growing. You are seeing that customers are coming. What you have built at the end of the day is just stress with a different logo. Because you always have to be involved, making your product too accessible because you did not make research enough on the right price margins. You didn't place the right system. No financial discipline. For every 2 naira that must leave your organization, you will be the one to make that transfer. Those things take away your time from thinking strategically. Why is there no system in place for interest or petty cash? Why is there no system in place for servicing in the organization? Why is there no system in place to attend to customers? Why is there no system in place for price margins so that your staff are empowered when people come to say, oh, I'm buying 100 from you, why can't I get a discount? So that when they're communicating with these businesses to say, no, this is our structure. However, we can do this for you. They can make those decisions, they can make those calls independent of you. At this point, saying no should be part of a leader's KPI. How many no's have I said today? How many no's did I say this month? And how did it impact my growth? Personally, how did it impact my organization as well? How did it impact the people who I work with? Growth and scale are 2 different things. Let's not mix them up together. Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Like I said before, growth and scale are 2 different things. Because your revenue increases, the costs increase at the same rate, and then the workload, because there's no system in place, because you have to make all the decisions, you think you're growing. But if you're scaling, you see that your revenue increases, your cost reduces, and then there are systems in place to handle all the complexities. If you were attending to 5 customers every day when you were when you started the business, and then you still, made more allowance. You started attending to 20 people. At that point, you see that your business is growing. I don't expect that you keep attending to those 20 people and their issues, or 20 people and their orders. What systems have you put in place? Can people go online, make a request, and then there's somebody to attend to them? Do they have to speak with somebody at every point before they're able to place an order for the products you sell or the services you offer? What are the things you have put in place to ensure that as your revenue increases, because these customers are growing, the cost to actually service these people reduces? When you're scaling, it shows that you have more results without proportional efforts. Revenue and costs cannot be the same thing. If they are the same thing, then you are stagnant. You may see 100 customers come on board, but if they are the same thing, you are stagnant. You are not growing at all. People build businesses that are busy, demand-driven, opportunity-rich, but nothing is happening. You want to attract more investors. You want to attract more capital. But the systems in place cannot attract those things. I said here that capital does not scale businesses. I'm sure people will be like, why? Capital, money. When there's money, I can do all these things. Do you have the structure? Have you laid out the structure so that when you pump in money to that business, the capital gives you the right ROI? Your business needs to grow. Systems actually scale businesses. You have people who are very competent to work with you, collaborate with you, and you see that at the end of the day, it's not yielding any returns. Why? You need to check your systems. Are they efficient enough? Are the things I have put in place? And it helps you with better decision making. Systems guides you without bias. It helps you when a family member comes and say, oh, give me 100 of these things, I will pay you later. What's your structure around that? Do they need to make a commitment first? It's the work. Are you the one attending to that family member? When they come, oh, I want you to attend to me. Oh, I'm sorry at this time, but I have people who will attend to you efficiently. They will respect you for it. Remember, growth and scale are not the same thing. If your revenue is the same thing as the cost to actually execute that, including salaries, including all operational costs, you're not growing. You just have your numbers skyrocketing. You're not profitable. And once you're not profitable, you're not scaling. So revenue increases not directly proportional to the efforts to actually carry that out. And then you have systems in place to handle all those complexities. You may not need to hire people to do these things, but what structure are in place? Can people go online and make a request without you attending to them one after the other? Now we have AI bots, even on WhatsApp, that can help you filter through all the conversions. Some people come, you attend to them, they're not ready to make a purchase, they're wasting your time. Even if it's a one-man business, you see yourself as a CEO. They don't waste CEO's time. Before I continue, can we just, tell each other how much our 1 hour is, how much our 1 hour costs? Does anybody have a figure? Have you sat down to evaluate that? Okay, this is how much my 1 hour costs. If I am somewhere, this is how much the value in terms of money. Has anybody thought that out? Have we? My 1 hour is $100. Okay, can anybody hear me? I'm asking, what's our 1 hour like? How much is it? It could be 50,000. It could be 100,000. It could be 500,000. It could be 10,000. I remember when I was growing earlier in my career, somebody asked me this question: what's your 1 hour worth? And I said, virtually, I think this was 6 years ago. Virtually, if you have to meet you virtually at the time, my 1 hour is, I think I said it was 20K. So yeah, I said 20K at the time. Madam Linda, I said it. They can't waste my time. Yeah. Have we thought about it? So if somebody is telling you, somebody comes to you, even your staff comes and say, oh, madam, I need to look at this thing. There are people that they should have talked to already before they bring it to you. Nobody is actually, only Madam Linda has said it. Right now, my 1 hour is $100. I have people to reach on LinkedIn, or let's have a consultation with you. Are you ready? Are you ready? If you're ready, I'm not even the one who's going to interface with you. Somebody else will do that interfacing. My 1 hour is 100K plus. Amazing. Amazing. Because if we don't quantify our time, see, I tell people who work with me, if you don't use your time, people will use it for you. If you do not use it, there are plenty. People will use it. People will use your time clearly, without remorse, and they won't be appreciative about it. Because you're my brother means that I should stay with you to do something that somebody has already, I have put structure in place to carry out. If we're having family time, let's have family time. If it's business time, there's structure in place to deal with it. I was having a conversation with my sister, and she said, oh, she saw something about her business. And she said she needs an advice. I told her, send me an email. She looked at me. I said, yeah, send me an email. I will know you're serious then. And at the time when she sent the email, somebody else attended to her. Send me an email. If we're laughing, let's laugh and play and chat. She did send an email. You're serious. Oh my Lord, Madam Linda, you're loved. Let's go long talk. See, people are time wasters. There are time wasters out there. There are people who will come in the guise of investors. They will tell you, I can see very great nexus for us to partner together. They're all wasting your time. They're fulfilling their KPIs. I've experienced that a lot. So that's why I have to strategically put my time well. They come and say, oh yeah, this is what we can do together. This. And you see them taking notes. They talk a big game. And then you ask them 1-2 questions. So what's the timeline for execution? What have you done before? And so I'll go back to my, I'm sorry. That conversation has ended. The card you gave me, I'm not sure where I kept it. Oh yeah, seriously, we'll come back and we'll talk. And at the time when you're coming back to talk, I need you to bring somebody senior that can make a decision and not waste my time. Let people say, oh, you're a lady, you're difficult. Yeah, let the assumption come. When they see the results, they'll be on the queue to seek appointments to have a FaceTime with you. If we have not yet quantified how much our time costs, that's how much we know we spend. That sometimes I sit down and do reports. I think about it. I spend maybe an hour doing the reports. I said, this is if I spend it with somewhere else, I know how much I'll make. I delegate, train somebody to do those reports for me. These are the things you need to do. And thereby, I'm empowering somebody so that tomorrow I'm not in the space, somebody else can deliver that report without me being in the picture. Remember, if we make every decision on our table that has to do with our businesses, every decision comes to our table, we're practicing selfish leadership. People around us are not growing. We are growing. But the people who are working with us, there's no growth. It starts with how much value do I bring? How much value? How much does my time cost? People should not come to you with petty things. Even the people you cherish and love, even in the place where you work. Oh, this is the issue. Okay, go to this person and when you get to her, tell her to send me a message. She goes there, send you, please deal with this. You're not sitting down to hear the kumbaya story. People like to share pity parties. No. They bring bed, wrapper, and they cover up just to share their pity parties. And then they even bring tea so that it's very cozy. And then they are taking away your time. That's not you being nice. You're wasting your time. I'm not saying don't be emotionally available or be empathetic towards people. But at the same time, if they know that you can solve their solutions very quickly, it will give you more reputational standing than just sitting down and listening to their story. Oh, it's well with you. It's well with you. It's well with you. What is the issue? What is it? This is my advice. Do this. And you see some people, they just want to come and get your time. If you give them tasks to do afterwards, in terms of mentees, people say, oh, come and be my mentee or my mentor. You give them tasks, you see that out of 5 people, only 2 people are coming back to actually give you feedback on the work. But you have spent 2 hours speaking with them, guiding them, showing them the way to go. No accountability whatsoever. But you have spent 2 hours. Somebody said 100K plus. That's 200K gone for somebody who is not accountable and lacks responsibility. Filters are good. Filters, it doesn't make you bad. Filters are good, exceptionally good. Part of our to-dos from at this point where we are now is to know how much our time costs. How much our time costs. Creating boundaries. You need to work with the 4 C's. Clarity. Why am I creating this boundary? There are some things I'm saying that I know on my slide, but please follow me. How do I create boundaries? You set boundaries with the 4 C's. 1, clarity. The why. To who. The how. And the what. What is this boundary I'm creating? Why am I creating these boundaries? To who am I creating these boundaries for? How do you communicate these boundaries as well? Somebody can come to you with things that doesn't even matter or doesn't even align with you. Sometimes let's even go to the normal audience 2K people who ask for. Oh, can I? I've heard you, but not at this time. So you cannot. I heard you. Is it that you don't have money? I'm maxed out with my budget for this month. That's why I said not at this time. It's your money. They cannot be coming to be asking you why. How do you communicate these things? Oh, can you join me for this? Oh, I'm sorry. I have other engagements. Maybe next time, if I get it ahead of time, I will do this. Next time, what you have done is you're telling people the way how to treat you. You're teaching people how to treat you next time. You cannot be everywhere. We don't see very expensive, high-end things everywhere, every day. Even its inaccessibility is value. Now we've talked about the first 2 C's, clarity and communication. The next one is consistency. Do you say yes to that same thing? Remember, we have found the structure on why we want to say no. What are the things we're setting boundaries on? Do we say yes? Somebody comes to you and says, because I'm my friend, let me just say yes today. Someone else comes tomorrow and maybe because you're in a different mood and you go, oh no, I don't have time for this, and you're all upset about it. And then maybe you come off rude. Somebody else comes again and you go, oh, okay, yes, because the person is a partner, you respect the person. And you go, oh yes, I will do this. We need to be consistent in setting our boundaries and the things we set boundaries on. At the end of the day, we need to also show compassion. Compassion does not mean you're available for everybody. These are the things. Can I recommend you to someone who will help you do this? I'm sure we've sent messages to people where they say, what is the exact thing you need? I say, oh, I'm looking for partnership and so. I'm going to recommend you to somebody. That conversation with that person on that topic has ended. Those are people who value their time. It doesn't mean the person is bad. Sometimes people will just assume that, oh, this person is coming off dismissive. But that person knows how much. I remember the time I was trying to engage somebody early in my career. The person said, at the time, for every minute you're engaging me, that's $20 a week. At that time, I've not even done any calculation of what my time should be like. And that's what informed my time virtually when I said 20K at the time. The person said, for every minute you're engaging me, you have to go straight to the point. $20 is going down the drain for every time, and I don't see anything I'm going to get from this conversation. I didn't feel bad about it. It was empowering. What audacity. For every minute. Yeah. It's well. Let's value ourselves. Let's see ourselves prestigious. And for every time, value follows money. If you value yourself, you will see the returns, even financial returns. You will see resources and access like never before. It's not a prayer. It's not a fake declaration. It is what it is. And I've seen it work several times. Now, these are the executive defense framework to set these strategic boundaries. Strategic alignment, financial guardrails, time and energy governance, partnership and power control, cultural enforcement. We'll begin with the first one. Strategic alignment filter. Questions to ask yourself when people drop things on your table. Does this accelerate our long-term vision? Remember, when you started this business, you had a vision in mind. Then that vision informed the mission you crafted. And then you set things in place so that for everything you do, you can get the mission out of it. I tell my people in the office here, I say, ensure whatever task you do today is in line with the mission of the organization. If there are things on your table that does not hit the bottom line, or you cannot say, yes, this is how this aligns with the mission, you're wasting your time. If your team members bring idle gist to you, and it's not telling you about partnerships, it's not telling you about how money is going to come in, you both are wasting your time. And you are wrong. Are you aligning strategically to ensure that your customer growth, capital, and leverage is scaling? If those decisions does not impact your vision and mission, and does not in turn aid your set structure, it needs to go. If people bring things to your table and say, oh, there's a partnership, is it scalable? Does it work? What's the unit economics? How does it merge? It could be a distraction. Don't get me wrong, there are places where I'm sure we find ourselves that it doesn't even matter. But just because there's just one person there you want to speak with, you attend that session. It could even be from morning till night. You will attend the session just so that you are able to speak with one person. And that's strategic positioning. And you will see that in that same space, there are other people you can network with. How does this affect me? Is this a distraction or is this a scalable venture? Does this strengthen our brand and positioning? You don't have to say yes the moment they ask you. If you're not sure, relax. Somebody says, oh, are you free for a call? Yes, sure. Now, you just go through the motions. You're not keeping yourself accountable in any way. There are people who think very fast, 360. That's fine. I do that a lot and I've built myself over time. You ask me something, I try to give you an answer quick. And if I'm not able to do so, I will give you a holding response, think about it, evaluate, and come back to you. Sometimes you still see some people try. When you tell them no, they still come with another angle or bring somebody who you respect in the ecosystem so that you say yes. Politely, with reasons, clear reasons. It's not aligning with our strategic goal at this time. However, as we progress through the year and something of this nature comes up, you'll be on the front burner for reconsideration. Simple as that. It will give them hope. You don't need to say yes at the drop of the light. Think about it. Sometimes when you say, oh, I'll come back to you. And sometimes people tell you things like, oh, it's urgent, now. And you tell them, just give me 30 minutes, I'll come back to you. 30 minutes, you see they didn't come back to you. Sometimes they say, oh, you're the heaven and the earth. If not you, nobody. If you don't do this for me, nobody. There's only you who can do this. You tell them, I will check in with my team and I will come back to you. They won't come back. Just try it. Keep quiet. You see those people, those are time wasters. On a lighter note, it has to be a part of the prayer points. Oh Lord, no time waster in my path. Time is money.
Amen, somebody.
Amen. Hallelujah. Time is money. Money comes from value. And time, this time we're spending together now, we're getting so much from it. As I'm talking to you, I'm reflecting on my actions as well. We can't get this time back. The time you spend with people, you can't get it back. There's never going to be a March or a February 28th, 2026 anymore in this life. There's not going to be a 9 a.m. February 28th, 2026 ever. Nobody should steer you into desperation to say yes. Nobody should steer you or pressure you into saying yes. Mind you, for every decision you make, even in good decisions, there are consequences attached to it. Even good decisions you make, there are consequences attached to it. But at the end of the day, they yield good results. When you're uncertain, hold back, think through it. Clarity is power. People will know how to manage you better if you're always telling them, oh, in 2 minutes, I'll get back to you. Or in 30 minutes, I'll get back to you. They will know how to manage their time better. Or you tell them, oh, it's too sudden. I already have prior engagement. Sometimes, maybe it's just you and your R&R time. You want to just relax. And that's a quality time you should always even create time for. Somebody comes out of the blue and say, oh, we need you now, to show up for this meeting or travel when the next flight. Oh, what's at this time? I already have prior engagements. Next time, if they need you, they will come ahead of time to request for your presence. The second framework is financial guardrails. We talked about pricing earlier. Define minimum pricing and non-negotiables. On this first line, that's where you empower your staff, your sales team. If you have a shop, people who are selling in the shop, you could tell them,
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, I'm with you.
Sorry, I don't know if you know, we can't see your screen anymore for a while now.
Oh, Lord. Thank you for that.
And then kindly check your WhatsApp. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm a very time-conscious person. I think I'm enjoying the session and the engagement.
We are enjoying it
At
too.
the end.
The notes are flowing. Everybody,
Please let Madam Juliana continue. I don't mind outsourcing my time to her because I am also taking notes. I wish I can share my screen. You will see me taking notes and nodding but I mean, please go on. Let her exhaust her slides and bless us with her wisdom. Please, ma'am. The floor is yours.
Thank
on that
you.
note, Madam Linda, check your WhatsApp. Some things are important today.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Thank you, Madam Linda. Okay, so we can see the slides clearly. Can anyone confirm?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Great, thank you. So I was talking on pricing and how you can empower your staff. For instance, you sell a product. Let me use a leather bag. You make a leather bag from leather sourcing to transport costs, to the artisans who help you make them, to your digital ads, to the person who sells in store, all the works, you factor all of that, and then you get your price. Once you get your cost, you add your profit margin. If you want to stay competitive, you make a benchmarking. What are other people selling this product for? Is it in the same quality? And just ensure you're getting the right research, because you could sell a bag, your costs are high, but you see a similar bag, it's not the same quality. And then because it's selling lesser, you that is selling the superior standard, you then devaluate your costs. Oh, let me show that I'm competitive. You sell at the same price as somebody who is selling inferior goods. That's not the way to go. So you objectively create your costs, you add your margin. You want to stay competitive, 10% margin markup, 15%, 30%, depending on the demand of the sector where you're selling. For instance, you put a 15% markup on your goods. And then to empower your staff, that they don't have to call you for every 2 customers that come into the store. You tell them this is the price. However, you must not sell below 13%. For somebody who is buying more than 2, you can sell 12%. For somebody who is taking 5 and 10 or 5 to 10 pieces, it must not go below 10%. That way they already know. And you tell them to maximize it, not because they want to make sales. They just say, oh, because you're buying 2. If the customer does not request discounts, they're not getting the discount. So that way you empower them. And that way you have saved quality time for yourself to do other strategic things. At what point do they get to you? You guarding your time doesn't mean you are not accessible. It doesn't mean you're standoffish. That's you empowering people through delegation and ensuring that they have ownership of the work you put to them. That way you have ensured your cash flow. Like I said, vanity growth, the numbers are equal to the cost. It looks beautiful. Somebody has said, oh, how many customers do you have? Oh, every day we have 200 customers. When businesses come to me like that, what's your profit, please? That's what makes sense to me. I don't care if you have 200 customers. What's your profit margin? And then I'll move forward to say, after all is said and done, what's your net profit? That's what makes sense to me. You want to access capital through me? That's a question I'm going to ask you. If your cost is equal, there's something I want to do with you. That means there's something wrong with your system. You're going through the motions. You're not making profits in any way. Because it's beautiful on paper. Oh, we have, 200 customers daily. What's the profit? So you need to ensure your cash flow, which is your revenue, before vanity grows. Oh, you want to show you have different outlets everywhere. At what cost? Because that's the one we started with. Because you want to be accessible. You want people to see your products everywhere. At what cost? It's beautiful, in the mindset of consumers. They say, oh, yeah, we're seeing these products everywhere. But at what cost? Tell yourself the truth. Your numbers don't lie. If there's anything, just like we've talked about how we should qualify or quantify our time in terms of money, the same way we should do that for our business. Data don't lie. Numbers don't lie. The numbers will tell you the harsh truth. You will be sad. What milestones, financial milestones have we set for our business? At what points do we know where you have a red alert that says, oh, at this point, if we have set this milestone, we've not hit that financial target. We've not hit that financial target. Then what next? What are the penalties? Is somebody going to lose their job? What have we even done internally to even check that we give people the right training, the right structure to empower them to do their work? Imagine you don't empower your staff. You're in a meeting. You cannot answer questions. Somebody's just waiting to say, madam, can I remove 2K for this customer? And then sometimes people just pass by and then they see things they like. They want to just get in now because that's where their attention is. And then maybe they're heading somewhere. They cannot wait for you to have all the time in the world to come and say, oh, yes, remove 2K. Because the staff were not empowered. That business has gone already. I'm sure we think through it. There are things that have happened like this before because we were not available to say yes or no. And then in turn, because we didn't think objectively, we'll go to that staff and say, hey, are you waiting for me to say you should give 2K? But you didn't remember that you did not empower them to remove 2K from product sales. Another thing people do, the same place where you have a business, your church tithes, church partnership. We are sowing seed for the less privileged. We are doing CSR. And then you go very proudly, you put your business name in Nkechi's Ventures. I hope nobody's in Nkechi here. Nkechi's Ventures just donated 200K. Nkechi's Ventures, Pastor Seed, Nkechi's Ventures. Why? Are you even making that much profit? And should your business be carrying out those obligations? Because we want people to see us. Because somebody said yes. We need to say yes as well. If there's no strategic advantage, do not exchange your time for it. That's what's the last line item here. Never exchange equity. Some people enter partnerships and they don't even bring 2 naira, but they have stake in that business. What are they bringing? Their time and their expertise. Don't allow anybody downplay you. If there's no strategic advantage, let's say we all only go for what is profitable to us. Yes. We're not wasting each other's time. I want people to come to me for things that I can be profitable to them as well. The same way I expect that I'm going to get into partnerships and discussions that's also advantageous to me. Because I know myself, I know the value I bring. You spend 1 minute with me, you're going to get value for it. Am I seeking value everywhere? Yes. I'm owning it, shoulders high. If you cannot provide value to me, I don't want you in my space. If I can provide value to you, know you can grow, then fantastic. We'll run through the next ones just very quickly. Time and energy governance. As a CEO, you must focus on growth and not the operations. Always design your calendar around strategic priorities. Like I said, if there's no alignment, let it go. Delegate it to somebody else. If you don't have people that you can delegate to, ensure that you mirror and model that thing you want them to do. There are things on my table before now, I did it myself, but when I was doing it, I know this thing would repeat. I had people follow me, come, let's go for this meeting together. The next time that meeting came, I sent that person there. Little things shouldn't be on your table for decision making. Ensure anybody who comes to you are discussing proactive measures, not reactive. Oh, this has happened. What do we do? What were you doing? Why didn't you think about it earlier? It still boils down to the systems and structures. Are we empowering people to be proactive instead of reactive? Are we helping people to think critically and strategic, even on their role? I'm telling you, even a hygiene staff, that's your cleaner, should also learn to think strategic. Let them know the value they provide to the organization. Remember, anybody can be somebody. And if you must know, delegation is also a skill strategy. The fourth framework is power and negotiation control. Due diligence is leadership, not distrust. When I said earlier, I will get back to you. Think about it. Your staff want to close a deal now, but there are integrity issues. They have not even cited it because, oh yeah, 100 million naira deal. They want to close it now. You close it now and then you're indebted. Have you done your due diligence? If you tell them, let me think it through. Sometimes thinking it through even it requires prayers. Just actually thinking it through, like, okay, what's the leading here? Wisdom is always profitable to direct. Because she said, I will come back to you, does not mean there is no trust. Again, never negotiate from desperation. Nobody should put you in that space. Nobody should put you in that space where you have to be desperate just so that. And you keep saying yes. And that's where this desperation comes. Oh, because I need this person to this person. This person is my key to this door. And then you fall for everything because you're standing for nothing. Yes, I will do it. I will do it. I will show up. That's where burnout and decision fatigue comes to play. Clarify governance and decision rights early. Who are the people that can make different decisions without you? Even leadership, people who work with you, you should know their strengths, because there are some times where people set people up for failure. If you're not thinking 360, you need to be up there looking down and seeing how things go, how things can be better. Sometimes you can be in the meeting just to ask your team, what went right this week? What didn't go right? Maybe you're not going to try to sit down and hear what the problem is, but you're seeing gaps. It could be communication gaps. It could be structural gaps. You're there listening. Okay, this happened. But what you're getting as a CEO is not the feedback they haven't given you, because you're thinking strategic. At the end of the day, respect is built through discipline. Saying no doesn't mean you're disrespectful. Cultural enforcement. Train teams to protect companies' boundaries. Somebody who does well strategically aligns. Reward them. Let people see that because you have modeled it. Somebody has imbibed it. Show, praise the person publicly so that every other person can do same. If somebody saves your time at work, praise the person publicly. Nkechi did something for me last week and it saved me 10 minutes. And I was so glad because that 10 minutes I used it to do XYZ. What did she do? She did this. Even Nkechi may not even realize that you have empowered her to do that thing that she has done. It now brings it to the fore, and every other person is like, okay, so this is possible, and I can get rewarded for actually saving my boss's time. Standardized decision making. What are the decision making process you have in your organization? Like I said earlier, as a leader, saying no and creating strategic boundaries should be part of your performance KPI. What is the real infrastructure of scale? Sustainable growth rests on 3 pillars: operational system, financial discipline, and leadership architecture. Without these 3, growth becomes fragile. With them, businesses become investable, scalable, and resilient. Like I mentioned earlier, capital does not scale with the business. Systems do. Do you have the operational system in place? Think through it. We may not be able to deep dive into all of this today, but think through it. Do I have the financial discipline? Are there structures? Do I have to approve every 1 naira that leaves the account? Do I have to give every decision for every customer? Remember, you want to scale. Again, growth when it's directly proportional to your cost is not growth. That's stagnation. These are the power metrics for decision making. If it's high impact and is aligned, please say yes. If it's high impact and misaligned, negotiate. Maybe at a later time, when you have spare time, you want to show up to just position your brand for brand visibility. Yeah, show up for that event. If it's low impact and is aligned, delegate. Let somebody else do the showing up. Let somebody else attend that meeting. That's not your role. If it's low impact and misaligned, don't even waste your resources, because when you delegate, that's somebody's time you're paying for. When people work for you, it's transactional. You're paying for their time, showing up for that event. If it's low impact, misaligned, decline. And if it's just too much noise, not at this time. We're not doing. Ignore it. The art of saying no without burning bridges. Pardon me, I'm rushing through because I want to close out in the next 4 minutes. The art of saying no without boundaries. Not now. Timing is everything, Simple. This does not align with our current focus. However, they will put it on the roles, if anything aligns with this as we progress through the year. But we cannot commit to the required resources. When somebody brings you too much order that you can handle, you objectively think through it. Remember not to say yes immediately. Are there people I can partner with to secure this deal? If it's not working, tell them this is what you can do. And it's there for them to align. If not, you will put in revenue and resources and nothing is working. There's no growth anywhere. Oh, I'm sorry, this doesn't meet our pricing structure, but this is what we can do for you. You have not said no, you have made it open-ended. Another one is, oh, I agree with what you said, but let's revisit this in the future. It's as simple as that. People who are wise will know you value your time, will know you are portraying integrity of the highest level, and then they know that you know what you're doing because you have structure in place, you have system in place. You're giving them no with reasons, and at the same time, you're being very cautious about it. Other ways to say no: we're prioritizing scalable opportunities. We're focused on high impact partnerships. Our current roadmap is locked. We operate within defined frameworks. And these ones, you're giving them reasons. Oh, this is outside our mandate. Yesterday, somebody wanted to strong arm me into adding things that we've already signed an MOU. And then you come with another scope, and you're telling me, oh, because I'm sorry, this is outside the scope. If we want this added, we need to have an addendum to the scope. And then they went, oh, no. So we want us to be here because we don't want to commit to it. I'm sorry. Straight, that one, we're not thinking about it. This is outside the scope of our agreement. We're not going back and forth. They said, you two, you are too. Yes, I am too. Me too. I now smile. Yeah. It's what it is. We can't do that. Maybe next time. Let's deal with this one first. If you're still serious about it, we will add it in the future. That was my conclusion. And the person appreciated it, and we moved on with the MOU. Now, this is a to-do. This is the third one for this. The first one was how many decisions and what's the impact to our business. The second one is what's the value of our time in terms of cash. Now, this is the third one, your 90-day boundary reset plan. Audit where your time and money leaks. And if you're having money leaks because of your lack of structure, lack of systems, then there's an issue. The third one is build financial and operational guardrails to ensure that you're not just saying yes because you want to feel good and let people see your business. The third one is communicate boundaries to stakeholders. Who are your stakeholders? Your staff are stakeholders. Your board, they are stakeholders. Your customers are stakeholders. People who directly and indirectly engage with your business, they're all stakeholders. Prospective partners are stakeholders. If you don't even start it right with this boundaries creation, at the end of the day, when you're pushing back and saying no, then you become a bad person and they say, that's so who they do. Nothing is cast in stone. If you evaluate these boundaries and they're not working, review it.
Nothing is cast in stone.
Nothing.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So to close, I'll just say, remember, you're not difficult. You're being strategic. Clarity attracts the right capital and partners. The right people will follow clarity because you know what you're doing. Boundaries create sustainable growth, not just growth. Boundaries create sustainable growth personally, on the job, even in your business. Your power is in your focus because you're in charge. Saying no is an executive decision, just like when they say gods and they hit the gavel. Saying no is an executive decision at the level you operate. Remember, don't see yourself, don't undervalue yourself. You're a CEO, you're business owners. Saying no is an executive decision and you should own it. Thank you.
Thank you. Please let the emojis of fire, of love, of applause, of appreciation, just let it keep flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing. Wow. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Please go into the in-message box and type, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. You know why I keep emphasizing the thank you? You just kept speaking, Madam Juliana. You just kept speaking. If only you understood the impact it's created. I'm getting personal DM messages telling me thank you, like I'm the one who spoke, but because they know Zuri Network put this together, they're saying thank you. So I'm channeling the thank you back to you, ma'am. Thank you for taking us through this. Now, ladies, there is this thing. Yes, I hope you're still here because you will have to. There's still a time for Q&A that we will need you to be around for. Thank you, ma'am. And I also want to reach out to say thank you to our awesome mentors. I know value has been added to you today. Thank you for doing us the honor, for showing up. You are authorities in your own way and stead, but you still made that time to come. Thank you. Thank you, ladies, mothers in the house, business people. We love you. There is something she reminded me of, and that is what, I don't know. I don't know how to put, I'm not too, when it comes to what is business language, I'm not a pro. But there's something called Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. Yes, 80-20 rule. That is 80% results comes as a result of 20% focus. Correct me if I'm wrong. The 80% of your results you get or increase or income is as a result of 20% of what you focus on. So it's like, let's identify the 20% right. With this topic she dealt with, let's try to get the 20% right, and let us get it right now. There were several things she said, but some actually stood out for me as a person, and I know it cuts across. The first thing that stood out for me, I'm not going to teach again, I'm not going to lecture anybody again, I'm just going to give the pointers. And while I'm doing that, please get ready your questions. Please get ready your questions. Don't be shy. Don't feel your question is silly. Don't feel, how am I going to ask this? If you're shy, please help me engage with the incoming messages. Some persons may want to drop their questions there, but we have a time frame of 15 minutes to do this. Both my speaking, both the questions, time frame of 15 minutes. The first thing that stood out that she said is, my own way, don't allow yourself to get bullied because you are a woman. And she's talking about the business place. Don't allow yourself to get bullied because you're a woman. She says, learn the art of negotiating rightly and be firm with it because you are valuable, because of what you are valuable because of what you are offering. You're not a non-entity. That is what she was actually trying to tell us. No woman is a non-entity. Can you imagine? Even if you feel, oh, I'm a full-time housewife, disappear for 2 days, come back and see the chaos that will have been waiting for you at home. I'm telling you the truth. They will not cope. They will not. Okay? She says people who want to do business with you will stay. She was talking about underpricing yourself. People who want to do business with you will stay. And those who will always return back will be as a result of your integrity. Avoid decision fatigues. And that is where delegation, thorough delegation comes in. Avoid decision fatigues. She hammered so much on delegation, virtually from the beginning to the end. Okay? Don't overpromise and underdeliver. I hope our questions are being compiled. Yusra, please confirm. Oh, somebody's still sending message. Thank you, Madam Juliana. On the platform I manage, they are saying thank you. It is the Power Mentors Group 1. We love you, we love you, we love you. Thank you. Okay, you should please confirm with a message if your questions are coming in, so it will help us mind the time. Okay, now the last one I want to say, Madam Juliana, if you're listening today. Okay, Lisa. Madam Lisa, you're on this call. Please confirm the questions. Thank you. Sorry, I mixed that up. I'm sorry. Madam Juliana, don't mute your mic. I have been thinking of something you said, and I know every woman here. I don't need you to even put up your emoji. When you asked, how much is our time worth? My 1 hour, how much is it worth? I look, I am on a vengeance mission on my ignorance, my weakness, my inexperience in certain areas. I am on a vengeance mission on myself. I'm not on a vengeance mission that when I see anybody and I have to negotiate anything, I begin to blab. The vengeance mission I'm carrying out is, I asked myself, I took a retrospect while I was sitting here. I said, Jesus Christ, where have I been? What am I doing with myself? I've undervalued myself. And a voice said, if you want to, you are thinking of Madam Juliana, how much she said is her 1 hour. Upgrade your skill, upskill, get your necessary skills, go to any board and tell them my 1 hour is $200. You'll be paid. So my vengeance mission is on myself. That's why that's what I'm trying to get at. So if you are there like me, Madam Lisa, please confirm if the questions are there. I need confirmation. Please confirm with a message on our work platform or my DM. Okay.
Yes, somebody does drop questions, but we need more questions. Sorry for interrupting.
Okay, we need more questions. Okay, in the next few minutes, I'll stop so that Madam Juliana can attend to that question, maybe to provoke other people to ask questions. Now, the vengeance mission I want every woman here to do is go and check, really sit down objectively. How much? Check your current salary. That's how you know how much your 1 hour is worth. Some people's 1 hour are worth 2,000 naira. Oh yes. Oh yes. Some people's 1 hour is worth 5,000 naira. While some people's 1 hour is worth over 150,000. They are no longer talking in naira because it will look outrageous in the ears of small-minded people. They are speaking in dollars and euro. So when they want to say that, they will not say I'm worth 100. No, they'll just say I'm worth $100. That 100 satisfies your mediocrity, but unknown to you, the dollars behind it is the magic. Now, on the vengeance mission, what do I need to do to bring myself to par with the value I have to give? With the value I have to give, okay, and etc. Thank you so much. Thank you. Before I shoot questions to Madam Juliana, okay, let me just shoot my questions, but I would have loved to take people's questions. Madam Lisa, please unmute your mic, confirm how many questions we have so that I will know what to do. Please confirm. Let me know what to prioritize.
There are 3 questions there.
There are 3 questions. Please, let's attend to those questions. It will only be fair. It will only be fair. Okay, Madam Lisa, ask the questions. Madam Juliana, please be on standby. Your questions are coming. Madam Lisa, have the floor for the few minutes. You need to anchor those questions. Is she on this call? Okay, Yusra.
Yes, okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much, Madam Juliana. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'll just go straight to the questions. Okay, somebody is asking. She said, "Thank you, ma'am, for this eye-opening message. Please, ma, I would want to ask, how can one build a business structure? At some point, I get confused, and at times, I feel I'm too soft-hearted to run a business."
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Neka. Okay. I would want to ask how one can build a business structure, and at some point I get confused and also we just talked about time and the value. So if you took your time to do your business and then people take it away, they are taking it because of the value you place on it. Building systems and structures takes away this soft-heartedness. What's your business about? What is the space you play? In what industry, in what sector do you play for this business? What is the clear value position for your business? That will help you inform the structure. If you know the value you're bringing, if the value you're offering, that's how you know what to put in place. What are the financial structures around it? What will make it efficient and effective? Remember, efficiency is doing things right. And effectiveness, no, efficiency is doing the right thing, and then effectiveness is doing things right. So what structures are you putting in place that makes it effective and efficient at the same time? In your space, for instance, I have a makeup studio that I want to set up. What are the structures around it? What are the value positions? What are the value offerings I want to give to customers? What is the scope I want to operate on in the first 1 year of the makeup studio? Do I just want to train people only for the first 1 year? What would that entail? What are the things I need in place? Do I need to hire people that will train people? Or do I need to, depending on what you're looking out for, do I need makeup artists who are ready to train people? Would they need to come to my physical store every day? Or can I place them when they have a downtime, they don't have businesses? I can collaborate and say, okay, 3 times a week, I can link you with people who want to learn makeup. So what are the structures am I going to put in place for that? You're having 3 people come to your space every day to make use of the space for the makeup studio. How do I make them feel comfortable? The customers, when they walk in, what kind of ambience or atmosphere do I want them to get from the business? Your value would in turn determine your structure. When you put your organizational rules, before we started, Yusra went through all the rules for this webinar. So when anybody's joining in, they're already guided that, okay, these are the set rules, and this is how I'm expected to function. So structure takes away that bias. If there's anything businesses should try to eradicate, I know it can't go off 100%, but at least to a very minimal percent, we should entertain bias. At least 80% of our business should not operate on bias, on how we feel. There's no structure. You say, oh, I'm not so happy today, so I'm not going to go to the makeup studio. What is the structure around that? If you're hiring people to show up in that business, what are the SOPs, standard operating procedures for different things? What are your business goals? How do you protect yourself in those businesses that you're setting up? All these values informs the structure you put in place. Even down to your financials. How much do I want to make from this business in the next 1 year? This is how much I have put up to set up this business. Do I have time to run the business? If not, what would it cost me to hire somebody to run the business? What structures am I going to put in place to ensure that there's checks and balance on all fronts? Because if it's one thing to delegate, it's another thing to ensure that the right thing is done, that people are effective at their work. So once you have the right structure in place, it takes away this soft-heartedness. Think through it. Again, nothing is cast in stone. It doesn't mean because I have said this is how it's going to be, it means that is how it should be for the entirety of the business. Always have a retrospect, reevaluate and evaluate at every point in time. It's your business at the end of the day. I say
thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please, whoever asked the question, I hope she did justice. I hope she did. We want to give you back your time, we want to give you back your Saturday, and that is why we are being mindful. We know some of you are still going to attend the wedding today, maybe by 1 or 2, and so we love you, we care about you. We want you to still have fun. This is Saturday. Okay, Madam Lisa, shoot your second question. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Juliana, for the answer, and I hope Madam Ogundemu Omolola, she's been able to answer your question. All right, so moving forward to the second question. And this question is from Saidat Mohammed. She's asking, ma'am, she's saying, how much does our time cost per hour? Please, how do we calculate the cost of our time per hour?
Thank you. Thank you, Saidat, for that question. Remember, I said value follows money and vice versa. Money follows value. Another thing, there's a place to be optimistic. And there's a place to be very objective about the value you bring. What's your value? What value are you bringing to the table? And then go and do a benchmarking. People who provide this service at the level you provide that service or that value, how much do they charge for it? You look at it in another way. If you're providing consultancy, on an average, that value you bring, how much do they charge? Remember, you have to be objective with yourself. Lydia mentioned that you have to upskill at every point. If you check and see that the benchmark is, say, I'll use 100K, and then you equate it to the value you're bringing. Remember, value is, one is expertise, two is the kind of network. How quickly can you resolve people's issues? How effective are the solutions you're providing? You equate it, and then again, what is the scope? What's the scope of what people want you to do? What's the scope of this service? Somebody can come, you provide a bouquet of service, and they just want one thing. What is the scope? If you're providing 10 services for 100,000 and somebody just wants one, you know that for that service is 10,000 naira. You equate it, okay, what's the level of expertise I'm bringing to the table? You add that. Remember, you have to do benchmarking because you also want to be competitive. In the place of being competitive, doesn't mean you have to devalue yourself. Do the maths. Leader also mentioned, if I'm working in a place, what's my salary by 30, by 8 hours? That's how you know. The scope, the value you bring, do a benchmarking, and then you're armed with things to make informed decisions to know the value you bring to the table and how you charge for it. Remember, you have to put systems in place so that you're not engaging with people who are going to waste your time. Let them fill a form. When somebody sits down to think about all the things you need them to do objectively, you know that this person is serious. And the person moves forward, the person already sees how much they have to pay for it. They're not going to come to you to negotiate because you already know you put the price tag on your time. So what's the value? Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. I think we have one more question coming from Madam Lisa. All of Madam Linda's staff members are Lily as well. Okay. So Madam Lisa, before you take the last question, Madam Juliana, be mindful that I have one very fairy question to ask you, and that is where we'll cap this session. Okay. So Madam Lisa, shoot, please.
All right, ma'am. So the last question is from Moreni Keji, and she's asking, she said, in the aspect of starting a business, how can financial control and assistance be implemented when capital is absent? Did you get the question, ma'am?
Yes, I did. Thank you, Neka. Thank you. How can I? Oh, I think I missed that. Okay, seen it. How can financial control and assistance can be implemented when capital is absent? Capital is never absent. It just depends on the perspective. We always have capital. That's why I always say that we are always advantaged, we're never disadvantaged. If we really, really have the right perspective, there's never an absence of capital. If you say you have no capital, with all these amazing people, 35 of us on this call, whatever money you want to raise, whatever access you need, you have 35 people who can give you that effortlessly. If you need networks, partnerships, relationships, you have people here who can give you that access. If you need money, actual money to get the work done, to start up that business, that's capital. Are you harnessing your social capital? There's a place for bootstrapping, right? So grow that business. So let's take away the mindset first of that capital is absent. There's social capital, and we can harness it to do everything we want to do. Remember, your network is your net worth. So who are the people around you? What circle are you in? And at the end of the day, there's still structure even with this social capital that you have. How do you manage your social capital? That in itself is the systems we're talking about. How do you manage your social capital? Thank you. I'm not able to go deep dive into it, but let's take away that capital is absent. There's money everywhere.
There's money everywhere. So it is not just praying, oh, angel of money, locate me today. As I go from the east, bring money. The angel will also be asking you, show workings, show value. Am I correct, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Juliana. Thank you, Madam Lisa. Because of want of time, Please let the emojis come from Madam Juliana. She's been awesome. And
Thank you. Thank you.
network, love. We love to love you. We love to love you. True. We love to
Love you
love you.
too. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Moving quickly, I'll be handing over to the founder and CEO, Zuri Circle Network. She'll be anchoring the closed session. So, usual, I would need you to do something here. Bring people to par with what we want to do now, so we would not be getting people confused. Thank you. Over to you, Yusra. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Juliana. Thank you. Like I said earlier, Madam Juliana is a family in the network. It's not the first time I'm doing this with her, and we are grateful that she keeps answering our call. Thank you so much, ma. Now, to the next phase, what we are doing, it is an insight into the 90 days check-in. So we have the 90 days check-in, right? What is the 90 days check-in? It is a squad dedicated to execution. No shyness, no hiding. These people are they're already in the war room before you people enter the war room, right? So they've had series of sessions. I don't know if you keep up with our social media, you see one of the physical sessions they've had. Actually, they've even gone from 90 days, they are now in their 60 days execution. The first 30 days are over. And in the execution group, they have books that they read every month to keep them on track, and every week they have a check-in. This check-in dissects. If you see the work that goes on in that check-in, my mouth cannot say everything. So we are going to get a bit into that right now. So they had the session earlier this week, and they decided that, oh, they are so nice that the second part of that their session, they'll have it during our accountability circle. So that's what Madam Linda is coming up to. I know that she's going to do more than that, but that is just a brief about what the 90 days execution is about. Please, the squad is closed. It's not opened. It is closed for now. If we're ever going to open it after, we're going to let you know. But get your pens, your paper, be open-minded, and you're going to be mind-blown. Thank you, Madam Linda. Let's go.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Israel. Thank you, everyone who remained on the call. I kept checking to see, and the level of engagement today is really very encouraging. Thank you so much, everyone. And like I always say, thank you for taking a bet on yourself, right? I wake up every day, taking a bet on myself, just, believing what is possible. If we have followed conversations in the group, I think I mentioned that I've had one of the roughest week since I started, allocating capital to businesses, but it is what it is. And speaking of capital, right, I wanted to start here before, flowing into touching a bit on strategic boundaries, just adding my own 2 cents. And then we can now level set on the books that are being read. I see our power mentors. Thank you so much. I also see the mentees, and I see, members of the network that have been consistent. Thank you. I was thinking to myself that I need to now have gifts for, people that have been consistent. Now, I think somebody raised the question around capital. I just wanted to speak to that just because I work hard after the session, and then we'll now start to dissect from that. Capital is never the issue. There's an abundance of capital. And like Madam Juliana said, if 36 people on this call cannot give you capital, then we are failed as a collective, right? If you've been paying attention also to the group, you find that I've also mentioned that we are opening up and we're exposing people. I think that communication went out last night or yesterday, where we started some business and we're like, how come this business at this scale, or that has the potential to scale, is here and just not being spotlighted, right? So capital is the easy part, right? It's the easy part because it can be raised, right? There's an abundance of capital. So let's not talk about capital. With the right business model, with the right idea, capital is abundance. What is abundance? What you need, right, is clarity. Clarity as to what you need capital for. Because without clarity, you're not able to go and put your best foot forward if you are given the room to speak with an investor. But yeah, that's on that. And, if I'm to also layer a bit on what Madam Juliana said, I'm going to keep it short, recognizing that we have just 1 hour to go. And there's still some announcements that have to be made, right? We've been told several things. Let me start there. We've been told as a woman, right, navigating social capital, business capital, the capital, all the nice nomenclature we have out there, right? I've come to realize by myself that a woman's power should not and is not measured by how much she takes on, right? It should not. Anytime when you call me a strong woman, or Linda, I don't understand. I'm like, please. There was a time when you call me a strong woman, and I'm like, okay, so I have to, but nah, don't do it anymore, right? Don't call me a strong woman because I'm able to take up everything, right? I believe that the true strength or the true test of what a woman should be measured by is what she really refuses, right? How many things she's able to say no to. And hear me out, right? For a very long time, we've been sold this dangerous lie about ambition. And that is why when you talk about ambition, you are torn between 2 words. Men feel like when a woman talks about ambition, she's crossing a line that she should not even cross. Even women, when we talk about ambition, we risk fight, right? And then again, I like to talk from a lot of lived experience, right? I've been told personally that to be successful, I need to be everywhere. I need to do everything. I need to be accessible to everyone, right? You need to be everywhere. I remember sometime when I started out my founder's journey and I was speaking to a PR consultant, I said, well, you need to put yourself out there more. You need to now be everywhere. I'm like, okay. And for the longest, I did that and I burnt out because I don't think every room is your room. every room is not your room. And she'll always let me know, or she'd always say that, okay, so you want to go on all the coffee dates that you get on LinkedIn, you know how LinkedIn people come and slide and say, let's have a virtual coffee. And I think Juliana hinted on that, right? Some of these virtual coffees are things that you're either being tasked with your thinking process, you are being asked to pretty much people throwing things your way, right? And I think it's maybe when we're talking about strategic boundaries and the act of saying an executive no, all of these things kept coming to mind. And I want us not to think about boundaries as a defensive wall or keeping people out. She hinted at that. Rather, if you ask me squarely, in the light of even structuring how much your owner is now, right? Boundary should now become capital protection, right? Your time, your mental bandwidth, which is really important because that is straight into your mind. Your deep focus are your highest yielding assets. I work with assets. You know how they say stock is an asset, this is an asset. So I work with real assets, infrastructure. And working with infrastructure, I've also come to appreciate what it is as an asset and how long-term it can be. And transferring that to my personal life, I kind of consider myself as an asset, right? My mind is an asset. My mental bandwidth is an asset. My deep focus is an asset, right? So every time I say yes to something that does not align with my core mandate, I see it as embezzling my time and, just picking the time deposit and energy deposits that should have gone into my future, right? And that's the way I see it. And that's the way I think, that's the correct way I think you should, look at it. And there's no best way to think about this than one case study that comes to mind, because at the end of the day, right, we're taking personal principles, we're also taking business principles. We have a lot of professionals on the call, and like it or not, we are finding our way. One of the core pillars on which the Zuri Circle is leaning today would be that if I had the kind of information that we're passing on here, or the kind of value that's being passed on here, I probably would not have struggled so much, right? Maybe I would have compressed time, but again, that is it's arguable because there's your time and then there's God's time. But if we are to layer, this as a business case, right, and how protecting your time, mental bandwidth, IP protection becomes capital protection. Nothing comes to mind other than a man I really, really, he's a man you love him, and you love to love him, you love to hate him. You shall find a way to love him, right? Because I think he has a mastermind, he has a mind of a genius. And that's Steve Jobs. Started a company, we all know the story of how he was kicked out. And during the time, I think this was about in 1997, during the time when he was kicked out, you found that because the visionary or the person with the vision is no longer there for some reason, the board stronged him, and he had a very opinionated personality, so it led to his leaving. They were churning out product upon products. If it's not the printer market today, it is the software market. It's not the different things, right? Pretty much, if I am to think through it, it's saying yes to every market impulse, and we have tendencies to do so, right? One say yes to every partnership, one say yes to everything that gives us key, one say yes to every speaking opportunity, every speaking engagement. Well, maybe when I continue to speak, you understand how to distill, right? Because Juliana said something that is really profound, right? As much as you want to protect your capital, you need to understand who you are to protect, what you're protecting, right? Wisdom is profitable to direct. As soon as he came back, the first thing he did was implementing a simple 2x2 grid, right? Everything that Apple was doing, he cut it short by 70%. So if you're doing printers, whatever, he cut it short by 70%. And he said it. He said he was going to say no to a whole lot of good ideas. Now people are going to come to you with good ideas. It does not. We're saying that protect another doesn't mean that people will not come to you with ideas, right? They are good ideas and they are great ideas, right? They are ideas that are destiny shapers. They are ideas that are just great, nice to have, right? Doesn't make it nonetheless good, right? But what he did, if you have to take a lesson from him, is that, cutting by 70%, whatever it is that he has focused on, and focused on, Apple and design. He's a design person. He's a design person and he's a marketing person. Simplicity is the highest form of sophistication, and we saw that play out in the iPhone. And then when there is an iPhone launch, you see how he does his marketing. So he mastered those two, right? And it has gone on to be a multi-trillion-dollar empire. Right now, if you don't own an iPhone, it's looking as if something is missing, right? For me, my reason for having an iPhone is because the productivity tool, it boosts my workflow. However, it comes with a lot of bonuses. It comes with the status, it comes with this, it comes with that, but it doesn't discount the fact that it is a machine, right? And this is because one man decided to cut out all the noise, all the market noise, all the market trend, not going to go with the flow, right? But just stick to what he was great at and what he felt was going to move the company from point 1 to point 2, right? Strategy is not really about what you do. Strategy is really about what you deliberately choose not to do. And how do you really operationalize this? Juliana has said a whole lot, right? But I'm going to narrow it down to 3 things. I did take notes, right? And I think the first would be deferral, right? And she kind of, said a lot on this, but I would say stop answering requests instantly, right? Especially when you don't have the right answers. When someone asks for your time or for your energy, your default response should be something like, thank you for thinking about me. And I do that a lot so that you are not left scarred, right? Let me review my operational commitments, maybe for the week, maybe for the quarter, maybe for the month, depending on my work schedule, right? And there's nothing there's nothing stopping us from aspiring, right? Okay, Makiwa will say something. I'm sorry, I do a lot of this by bringing people's experience just to help crystallize where I'm going. She is a huge proponent of faking it until you make it. We know she has made it. Whether she faked it to make it, I do not know. But there are some people who don't have a PA that won't tell you, I'm going to let my PA handle this. However, again, I would say wisdom is profitable to direct. So rather than do that, right, you want to say, let me review what my commitments are, what my operational commitments are. I would typically say for the month, if it's something that, you know, is going to require a lot of my time. But you know what this has done? It has given me 48 hours to logically assess your request rather than emotionally reacting to it. Right. And as a business leader, you need to understand that passion and emotion can be separated. Another thing I would say is, you know, access, right? Access not really mean presence. So you do not need to give people your physical presence to give them value. I do believe that we are dishing value on this call, like it or not. When asked for a meeting, you cannot, maybe a meeting that you cannot say no to, or you cannot maybe take, but you know that you have some value, right? I would typically say I'm unable to commit to a meeting right now, but I do not want to leave you empty-handed. Here is a resource, or here is a contact that I know, somebody that can help out, somebody that can speak on the panel on this topic. I would even go ahead and make an introduction, or here's a framework that solves your problem. That way, I have protected my boundary, but I've still delivered value, right? Another thing is just the clean act of saying no. And, you know, I feel like as women, we over-explain. I find myself doing this a lot. And I ask myself, Linda, are you meant to be doing this? Now, understand that there's a thin line between knowing what you're, who you are as a person, right? Which brings us to the book we are reading. I'll get to it very soon. And understanding, you know, when to maybe protect yourself and say no. You don't have an exaggerated opinion of yourself. Understand. So knowing who you're what and balancing that with humility, right? I feel like women specifically have a habit of over-explaining, especially over boundaries. When they say no, they want to give you 10,000 reasons why they say no. We write 3 paragraphs of apologies for why we cannot attend the dinner or why we cannot attend something. If you've been ethical from the get-go, I don't think that you should continue to do this, right? Maybe you want to have something like, you know, Madam Juliana said, an SOP, something that guides you. Thank you for the invitation, but I'm currently at capacity. I will not be able to participate. I wish you the absolute best in the project. And honestly, I wish you the absolute best.
Is it me? Madam Linda, I can't hear you. Okay, it's not just me. All right. Maybe it's a network. The network is a bit funny this morning for everybody.
I think you're answered.
But I hope that we have been following so far. Thank you to everybody that is still on the call. Faye, I see you. I see you, power mentors. We still have a lot of this is more than an answered prayer. Okay. We get this a lot. Madam Linda said you people will start paying tight. Tolu Lokpe, Olaomi, marvelous. Zainab, Zainab, my Zainab. Zainab. And to Zuri Circle team members, well done to us. Well done. Thank you guys. Thank you. I think Madam Linda's network is off. Let me see if I can get her back on. Madam Linda.
She
I hope you're
is
not
back
talking
on,
on
you
mute.
know, so I'm going to
Okay,
turn off my video. I think the network threw me out. So I would turn off my video. I am so sorry. Okay. So now we've been talking about boundaries, and you know, if I'm to logically think through what the boundary or where you need to have boundary means that there's something you're protective of, right? It means you're either protective of an infrastructure or your time or your work, or you cannot defend a boundary if you do not know what property you are protecting, right? You cannot say no to the wrong things if you do not have absolute clarity on who you are. And that brings us perfectly to the work we are doing right now in our 90 days execution squad, which is, you know, even leaning into the agenda now. You know, we are currently reading our second book for this sprint. And this book is written by a woman whose operational excellence we have just witnessed firsthand when we went to visit her. Some pictures will be out and a documentary on her journey, you know, will be out very shortly. So please keep your notifications on. This would be released on YouTube, but, you know, you'll be notified as well. And this is no other person than Madam Dr. Temitope Mayibu, the founder of Avila Natural. She's a dear friend, right? And over the past 2 weeks, we've moved past the introduction. We read chapter 1, and chapter 1 forced us into the trenches of deep work, right? And this is for people who had read the book. Let me just turn on my video really quickly. For people who do not have the book, you could pretty much look for this book. This is the book. Oh, okay. I think because of the backdrop, maybe we'll snap it and send it, but that's the book. Turn off my video again. So she, you know, throws into the deep trench of work to challenge ourselves to actually figuring out who we are, right? At our absolute core. And we didn't just look in the mirror, we did a 360-degree audit. I did a 360-degree audit because we asked the people around us how they experience us. And that was the mandate, right? Who are we as people? Who are you as a person, right? What do you identify with? I had a few people who came to say, oh, so my name is so and so, and I'm a business operator at academic excellence. And I'm saying, please, that is not who you are at your very core. Who you are at your core is explaining who you are as a person. If you stand before your maker, your God, the source higher than you, and you're asked the question who you are, stripped of all your earthly designations, who do you say you are? We did that work, and if you've not done that, right, I think this is your call, and this is for people who are dropped off the that are not on track with the book. So maybe you want to also sit with this, presents an opportunity for you to sit with some of these questions, understanding who you are as a core, at your core, not who your husband say you are, not who your friends say you are, who you know you are. That is the deep inner work that we share you from, right? If I ask us to unmute our mic now and say who you are, like Lisa, unmute your mic and tell me who you are. She's pretty much going to tell me how she's a married woman and has kids and now works somewhere. And no, that's not who you are. We got down to our absolute core, right? We didn't just look into the mirror. We did 360, like I said, and that is really terrifying work, but it is necessary, right? Asking people to tell you how they experience you. Somebody gave me feedback at work, and I'm going to say this so it balances it, right? They gave me a feedback at work. This is somebody who just by order of, they say time and chance happen it, right? That is this time and chance happen it, or you are privileged to be in that position. I clawed my way through to get the position I have been, right? So you have an advantage to be ahead of me by one grade or by one cadre, and then you're going to give me a feedback, and you give a feedback based on who you are. It doesn't discount that he's an exceptional leader, right? It doesn't discount that fact. But I was mature enough to know that, you see, how you experience me also. Yeah, okay, I'll take note of that. Okay, so I've just been prompted that the whole session will end by 1, so I'll aim to finish this in the next 15 minutes. How you experience me matters to me, right? Now, how he experienced me was true until it was not true anymore, right? So you need to understand who you are, then ask people how they experience you, right? Now, this was an appraisal feedback session, right? And I did give him my comments. I respect, because they worked in and permit me to use that, as an illustration. Oh, I appreciate your feedback to me. It's going to help me grow. I'm going to grow from this. I'm going to learn from this. I understand that this is how you experience me, right? And I respect it. I appreciate it. It just means that we need to now go back to work, because how you experience me is not what it is really, right? We need to level set. And now, I say, oh, why not let us restart the clock? I was a mature person. I was a bigger person. I'd grown to be that person. Now, because I've done the inner work, right? Now we ask people to, part of the work was asking people how they experience you. And sometimes, trust me, you're not ready for some of the feedback that I'll be giving to you, right? You are not ready. And if you're not ready for it, don't bother asking. We took raw data. Usually said it's a brutal execution. So yeah, I'm only need to say that we took raw data. We evaluated who we are as business operators, because at the end of the day, who you are as a person, how people experience you translates to how you show up as a consolidated whole, right? Showing up for your business. We actually began consolidating it into who we must become as business leaders, built for the future. If you look at the economic trends, both macro and micro, right, coming our way, artificial intelligence will soon, not even will soon, is commoditizing basic tasks, right? You have algorithm will write copies. You have AI, AI building business financial models. Marvelous, if you're on this call, you understand what I mean, right? Somebody reached out to me yesterday, or rather, right, the opportunity was that you need to understand financial models enough to be able to correct an AI. And I'm like, really? And this is what you want me to do, right? Understand this financial model to a point. I'm struggling with my life, driving this building this, structuring the deals, and then writing the financial models and ensuring that I don't tank an entire $200 million deal, and you're telling me on top of that to still teach the machine how to think, machine that should be depending on. But I think you point out where we are going, right? AI is doing everything. So what now becomes your competitive advantage in the future, right? For me, your competitive advantage is your sovereign identity. It's your unique, unreplicable essence. When you operate from a point of truly knowing who you are, right? No market shift can uproot you. You're just pretty much playing to your talent and adding what's it called, technology to it. And I'll leave it at that, right? I'm going to sit into the third chapter, right? Because I know we are pressed for time, which was she spoke about the vision, right? And I went a bit further to say it's not just the vision, it's also I took from it the law of timing, right? She opened this book by saying, she opened the chapter rather by saying, and it's a popular quote by Joel A. Baker. She said, no, I think that's Baker, Barker. Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. Vision with action can change the world. And what does that say really? Vision is not a mood board. Vision is not a compass. It is the internal gyroscope that keeps you moving north when the market, your family, your friends, everybody is moving south. There was a JD that was put out yesterday on a consultant role, and he said you need to be able to see yellow when the whole world is seeing blue, right? And that is the mind of a master visionary, somebody who understands macros and micros, right? And Dr. Mayegun linked her vision for Avila to something profoundly deep. We talk about spirituality, and I think this book kind of embodies spirituality at a very deep level. She spoke about, being complete and, not just being complete in the will of, she thinks she was incomplete accordance of God's will. She talked about being complete in complete obedience to her inner man. Now we all have that one thing, that one compass. So people call it the Holy Spirit, or people call it intuition. We all have that one inner man, right? The understanding that something completely higher than ourselves regulates us, right? And that's the understanding she applied. That understanding that something completely higher than herself was at play. There was a time when I took on a role and me, I just need different cues to let me just cue me into. I know that okay, this is for me. I tell God, this looks like too big issue to fill, but I know that this opportunity you have prepared me for this season, and the lessons of this season help me understand it. I'm going into this. Yeah, sometimes I enter into a strategy room and I am dazed at the people that are there, dazed at the strategy I'm saying on, and I'm like, and saying to my sister that, my God, I don't die. What if they ask me to say something? I have not a clue, right? What these people are saying. But it also, there was one such day, I stumbled on Ibuku and Woshika's post on Instagram. And she was like, don't even think that you are in a room that you're not prepared for. Don't think that it was just, you just stumbled on there. There's a reason why you are in that room. And if you are struggling, then you must ask God for clarity why he has put you in that room, the lessons of that, to take out from that room. And that is understanding that there is something higher than you that is regulating you, right? In my role as CEO at Africa, and I held that role for about 3 years. Everybody has been coming to launch a product that refused to launch. Indians, it was outsourced to Indians to build up a tech product. The Indians are the best at this. So when they called me, I don't for that role. I'm like, okay, so what am I actually coming to do that the Indians that are the tech geniuses cannot do? They have a CTO. You just had a CTO. Why do you think a CEO can make magic? And again, that's inner man, that inner intuition. Right? I landed there. We did the PRD, and guess what? I resumed my role in December. We took that product to market in April. That product, and this was in December of 2023. We took that product into the market April of 2024. That product idea, they started building it from 2018. It was just that it was my time to do that. Nothing special. I understood that something higher than myself was at play, because anytime I wanted to sweat, it was like, you're not playing the strings here. And I differed completely, right? One thing she said was that she realized that she was not building a skincare brand. She was executing a divine mandate. And when she dropped a line in this chapter, it really stopped me on my tracks. She said something really profound. She said, when God is ready, right, everything is ready. When God is ready, everything is ready. When God is ready, that your vision is ready. It's ready, right? And I would say this linking into Zuri Circle, right? As of today, the impact that is being made and the brand name is outliving even, how do I put it, how we started. It started as a conversation like this, right? And every day when women come in to say, Linda, I like what you're doing, I want to support you, I like what we're doing, I want to support you. Within the team, external team members, external stakeholders, investors saying that, oh, I like what you're doing, please bring your women, let us put monies behind them. I see it as being ready. Maybe if I had done this 5 years, right, if I had not built as much social network to ride, carry these women and put on the back of to ride on, maybe I won't have all of this opportunity, or these opportunities that, it's coming to present themselves for the women within the community. So it just alludes to the fact, right, that when God is ready, everything is ready. And, I really want you to weigh in on that for a bit. I want you to weigh in on that. I want to translate that spiritual truth into a hard business principle. When God is ready, right, everything is ready. In my mind and in my head, the ultimate expression of what that means would be the law of timing and market readiness, right? I've done some good work in venture architecture, and we call this achieving product market fit. You can have the greatest product in the world, but if the market is not ready, you will bleed capital, right? If you take a look back at the early 2000s, there's a company called Webvan. They tried to launch a massive grocery delivery business. They raised money, right? They raised about $800 million in capital, which is why I tell you that capital can be raised, not the problem. They built, massive infrastructure in warehouses. They went specially and spectacularly bankrupt. You know why? The vision was right, but the timing was wrong, right? Consumers were not ready to buy tomatoes on the internet just yet. Let me shock you that before YouTube now, there was something that was launched, like, the name just keeps my head, right? There was something that was launched like YouTube that would have done as, it was great, but it launched at the time when the market was not even ready to consume resources. Right now, we live in the interactive web, right? Where we can consume, we can read, we can like, we can interact, right? And that's fast forwarding 15 years, right? There's this what is it, Instacart, or I think that's what they're called, Instacart. They launched the exact same vision as Webvan, but this time everyone had a smartphone in their pocket. I think they're called Instacart. That's what they're called. The infrastructure was there, right? The timing was right. They built a multi-billion-dollar giant. When the timing is right, when you align your preparation with the divine or market readiness, the door blow open, right? And that's when you hear things like, this person don't hammer. You even see that even in artistry, music artists. If you come up with a sound that the world is not ready with, you are pretty much on your own, right? You want to be unique. Thames struggled a bit until she now started going mainstream, right? Thames has her own sound. Right now she has, is it Thames? I've been Thames. Right now she now blends it with, what's it called? Her sound with the universality that we understand Afrobeats to be, right? So to blow, right, timing has to be accurate. If you notice, Dr. Michael did not just sit and wait for the timing to be right, Why she was, she built the capacity, she built social network, she built her relationship with her inner man, right? Because when that moment of readiness arrives, you must have the right support system across board to help you scale, whether on a legal law, whether on a financial law, operational law, infrastructure, everything. And you don't have an excuse not to have that, because that is why you have the Zuri Circle Network, right? You cannot scale a global vision on a local mindset. I want to leave you with that for chapter 3. Now quickly going to chapter 4, which she spoke about the seed, and she talked about the days of little beginnings, right? And she started with something extremely profound. She said think big, start small, right? Some people think big and start big, and then realize that there was a wisdom in starting organic, right? And she also went on to say you don't need to despise the days of little beginning. When we look at the Avila story today and we walk a factory floor, you see the Vanguard woman. Actually, so when you see that Vanguard Woman Award that was presented on our desk, right, I see global distribution and it is intimidating, right? My first experience with Madam Timitope Maigun was one of humility and modesty. We met at an celebration. I keep sharing this story, and I've experienced her brand even before I met her as a person. So I went, as the founder, the CEO of this very tech progressive startup, health tech startup. Everybody knew our free health. We're building River Plus. I was pretty much, making the headlines and all that. And this woman was just sitting just behind me, very quiet. She first tapped me and gave me her phone to help her. That there was something that he asked us to do, and the thing was not. And I looked at the phone. I'm like, first off, why is this phone in this room? But it was in my mind, right? Why is this phone in this room? This phone does not have the capacity to do what they've asked her to do. But I could not tell her because I've been nice, right? Madam, maybe you need to update. And I was like, maybe you need to update this phone. At the end of the day, I had to, blot it out, say, I don't think the phone has the capacity. But long story short, when it was during the time when we were going to introduce ourselves, I introduced myself. And no, I think I was the last to introduce myself because I came last, right? I was, heavy at that time, but still trying to carry the grace and all that. And she introduced herself, and then she said she's the CEO, founder, president of Avila Natural. And immediately I took my phone and I Googled it. I wanted to be sure that this is the same person that we are talking about, right? And lo and behold, now the woman, Avila, and I told him, like, how can this person with a multi-billion naira empire be this quiet? And the rest I can say is history, right? I can say multi-billion because I've actually looked at our books, right? I consult for her actively every day, so I know. But it started as a seed. She always tell you started with 30,000 naira. But do you know what kills more business than the lack of funding, right? Do you really know what destroys more vision than bad economic policies, right? And I say this because it is true. It is the fear of mockery. So many brilliant women sitting in this very network have billion-dollar seeds in their hands, but they refuse to plant it because they are terrified of looking small while it grows. Guess what? Zuri Circle started with just 30 women in one room, just choosing to bet on themselves. Right now, within the community, you have over 600 people. It is fully transitioning into tech. Please, I would never discount the days of small beginnings, and I want the mandate and the radical cry to be that you don't. You want to launch the business, but you don't want to launch it from your kitchen table because you are afraid of what your former colleagues will say. You want to start the fund, but you're afraid to announce it when you have only 1 million naira. Guess what? Yusha was saying something yesterday and she chuckled when she said it. And I said, if easy runner, right? She was saying, no, it's small. We gave women 1 million last month. It's small. But if it's easy to pull out capital from an institutional partner, please do it. I am not so right now. I have a template to say somebody believed in us and our women well enough to give us 1 million naira. But the stakes are higher because I have more women and they build better businesses. Even the ones that we give money to, their businesses have grown. How can we support them with a second round, right? And that is because I have a template to build on. So you are letting the fear of failure rob you of your future. And that's the truth. Reminding you of the quote by J.K. Rowling about this exact fear. She said, it is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so consciously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default. I want to read that again. It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default. If you're not failing occasionally, and I dare say that failure is very necessary, if you're not failing occasionally, you are playing entirely too small. It means that the playing field is just too small. There's nothing, you're acing it. I was watching Billions, and there was this lady, there's this character I really love. She supports Chuck, this black, very strong athletic lady, and she lost at something, and that was her first loss, and she was going to throw the towel in. And it took the character called I think the therapist Wendy to look at her and say, oh, you are this beaten because you've never lost at anything, right? Because because you have not lost at anything, she was going to throw in the towel and resign, and she had even drafted a resignation. And I see many of us at this table, right? You feel you failed when you get the feedback. No, right? If you're not failing occasionally, you are playing entirely too small. A seed has to be buried in the dark. A seed has to be buried in the depths. A seed has to be buried in the dark and in the depths before it breaks the surface. It is a messy situation. It's an unglamorous process, and that is the process, right? That's how it sprouts. So I think it would be embrace the depths, embrace the smallness of the beginning. There are some videos that if you go down my Instagram, each time I say it, I cringe, like they are cringe worthy. Some people can say they're fantastic, but I know that I've evolved, right? I'm cringing because I've evolved. But as at that time, that was the best I could do. And I'm talking about videos I've run far back as 6 months ago. If you're not evolving, I don't know, what are you doing? So as we close this session and we move back into the trenches of our 90-day sprint, here's my charge to you. Number one is plant the seed, right? Stop waiting for the perfect foundation to start. Start small, but think institutionally, think globally, think big, but start small so that you can scale organically. Number two is hold the vision. Let it be your compass, right? Know who you are. And to hold the vision, you need to go deep and broad. To understand, deep is doing the work internally. Know who you are. And that's the biggest work that we shy away from. Because if you know who you are, when you sometimes will be scared of yourself, right? I asked somebody that, you know yourself enough not to trust yourself. And he said, yes, I don't trust myself. You can imagine, right? Some people tell you, I know myself enough to trust myself in certain situations that I will not. I need to be under the, I know also myself that I need to be under the influence, right? To do this. So you need to know yourself, right? To hold the vision and let that vision be your compass. Do the deep work to know exactly who you are. So when the market shifts, you do not break. You understand who you are. You understand what your talents are. The 10 talents that God has deposited, the 2 talents that God has deposited, the 3 talents that God has deposited. How you're harnessing it. Trust me, Yusra cannot be Linda. Linda cannot be Yusra. Somebody said something and she meant very well, right? And I addressed it generally. She said, "Oh, ma'am, I think what we can do is we need to sign NDAs before some of these things are sent out." I understand the power of holding an NDA. I understand that I've been in this back and forth, legal back and forth, right? I also understand the power of divine mandates. You cannot carry my if you copy, you cannot paste it as I'll paste it, right? So it is my compass and it's guiding me. If you think that Linda has done this, you want to also do this. And it also speaks to the fact that let your journey be your journey. Your journey, right, is your journey. If you understand what your vision is, somebody's 10 years can be your 2 years, your 2 years can be somebody's 20 years. And the third and the final would be protect it with boundaries, right? Learn the art of the strategic no. Protect your focus like it is the most valuable asset on your balance sheet. Protect yourself, protect your mind. Anytime I'm working for a new employer, the first thing I tell them, whether I say it by way of seriousness or I'm playing with you, but I'm saying it to you that my mind is my greatest asset. The day you mess with it, I'm out the door. The day I cannot sleep, right? And it's not going to what I can point to myself. It is going to something external that I cannot control. Maybe I'm afraid of my next paycheck. I would dust my resume and start looking for a job. You can't do that, right? So when you know who you are, when you honor your little beginnings, and when you ruthlessly protect your time, you stop being just a participant in the economy. You become an architect of it. And I would say, let's get back to work. And thank you. The homework for the 90-day cycle, I'm going to drop it in the on the squad. We are taking Avila as a case study. We are going to be using, how in business school, and I did tell you that 90-day squad was a mini MBA. If after 90 days you don't come out with refined thinking, then I must have failed at something, right? This is why I'm not really particular about dragging people into the room. You need to want to do it. You need to want to do it, right? I understand that life can get busy, but you need to commit to it. This is me. There are sometimes when I don't negotiate with my children, especially now that I start prioritizing my health and all that. When I lock my door and there's that one, I tell them that this is the only 1 hour I have in the whole of 24 hours. Or this is the only 2 hours I have in the whole of 24 hours. Please allow me nourish my mind and nourish my body. Don't allow me become a dunce because I'm your mom. Don't allow me become a nuisance because I'm your mom. Don't let my life spoil because I born on. Make I gym small. Or make let me read small. Do you understand? So please, that is the rally cry. Yes, it's funny, but it's the truth. It's the reality we face as women. You see women overweight because we can't go to the gym because you wake up, you are sweeping, you are cooking, you have your own things. You want to go to the gym, you want to do your hair, many things. Life throws at you, right? We have a special calling as women. We have a special calling as women, and I do think that we need to approach it with design. We need to approach it with design thinking. My design, it would never be Madam ACN's design because our life infrastructure is different. I have 5 children. She has, I think, about 4 or 3 or so, right? My dynamics are different from hers, right? The way I wake up is different from what my goals are different from. I want to be a size 10 by the end of this year. So it means that I need to commit time to that, right? So please just design your life, right? For you, and for you means that you are getting the best outcome. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for everyone who has stayed, till the end. I'm going to be yielding the floor back to the estimators. They tell you, my sister, by the time we are done, sometimes I even suffer from what's it called? There's this thing called when your brain is hyperstimulated. It took my first son to pick it up. I knew something was off because when my mind is hyperstimulated, I can be looking at you and I might just be nodding neurodivergent. Thank you, that's it. That's what it is. Because I have the capacity to do 6 things and do it exceptionally well. But if you add anything that is straying across, that is not in that 6 things in my line of focus, you don't get the best of me. So I'm looking at you and you think I'm hearing you. And I'm not. That's what people say, but you said this. I said, please, everything I said, and you know that I said it in deep confusion, don't hold me to it. Wait until I'm settled. Don't rush me so I can give you the best. Right? And that is understanding who I am. And then my son's experience of who I am. Guess what? I experienced my boss like that. He was speaking to me and it was time for our meeting. This is a chairman of the board and he sat down and he was looking at me. I was looking at him and he was blank. But guess what? I understood immediately what was happening to him. I kept explaining one thing over and over and over and over again. Some people say this person is on Kulus, right? If he took hard drugs, I'll say, maybe this guy is responding to, but this is a very respected man. I did not perceive anything. I entered his office as soon as it was time. If somebody had taken something, if this guy was staring at me point blank, this is somebody who would always have something to say. And then I just told him, boss, I think I get what's happening to you. You might need to go sleep this off. You might need to put off your laptop and sleep it off. Guess what? He called me after 6:30 in the night and said, I did sleep it off. Thank you for picking on it. I've always had it since when I was a child, right? Please understand who you are. That's the mandate. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's get back to work. Yusra, I'm going to hand your meeting back to you.
Thank you so much, Ma. We are the time is it the time is running, but one that is running behind the time. Anyways, the next Immaculata is going to give us just briefly things to expect or things that we've been working on in Zuri Circle Network. Remember, I told you it is Zuri Circle Network now, and we are moving the way the world is also moving. So, Immaculata, your meeting. Don't worry, we're not going to take. Sorry, we're not going to take much of your time. Like in 7 minutes, we're done. Thank you. Don't go.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Yusro, Madam Linda. Thank you, Juliana. So I'll quickly run through what we have for March. We're entering the most strategic months of the 90 days of our first quarter. Sorry, as a network, we are not just drifting into it; we are attacking it with a clear mandate. So we are going to be entering the 90-day red zone. In December, we conducted the refined woman after glow audit, and this audit bettered the current 90 days execution working session. March is the final 30 days of this cycle, and today is February 28th. Tomorrow we enter the red zone. This is the month where we move from refining to results. So if you have execution commitments that are still sitting at 60 or 70%, March is your window to close the loop. No execution debt. We protect our professional capital by finishing what we started. By March 31st, we expect a 100% completion rate on the goals we set during the afterglow. We harvest in March what we audited in December. So, and we also know that this month is the month of women. This is the International Women's Month, which is on the 8th of March. And looking at it at the global stage, March 8th is the International Women's Day. And for Zuri Circle, International Women's Day isn't a brunch, it's a mobilization. We are aligning with two global pillars. The global campaign hashtag, which is Give to Gain. In this circle, we don't just network, we practice reciprocity. The team Give to Gain means we are intentionally trading our intellectual and social capital to gain collective leverage. Watch the portal for our Peer to Match initiative. We'll be pairing you to trade high-level assets this month. The UN team writes justice and action. This connects directly to today's briefing. Boundaries without action are just suggestions. We are taking action this month to ensure our professional rights and our financial capital are protected by the system we build. We are not just talking about change, we are taking actions. And that's all we have for the month of March. And your March command is simple. Finalize your 90-day execution items, participate in the Give to Gain peer match, attend the March accountability cycle.
Ima, you're breaking. Or is it just me? Can we hear Immaculata, please?
Going to be announced.
Okay,
And
Immaculata, you're breaking. Okay,
Exactly.
just to round up what Immaculata said, your mandate for the month of March is to get into execution zone, complete anything you've gone to put under your bed, anything that you don't have clarity on. It's time to gain clarity. We've been working, and if you don't complete these tasks or these to-dos, it's almost like all the work you've been doing since December till now has gone to waste. You are not necessarily allowed to carry any to-dos into the next quarter. Finish them this quarter. And for things coming up in Zuri Circle, we entered yesterday. We please vote on the poll. We have some investors events that are coming up, and you don't want to miss it as business owners. Every time we say it, show up for your business. We would not know the kind of business you do if you don't talk to us about it. And we've created several platforms for you to communicate that. We have forms that you can fill. There's the business group, you can do market day. Now we have the accelerator group, there's the tech group. Literally, there's a group for everybody. But it's the way you show up that's how we would see you, and that's how we would help you. But we would not know what you're doing except from if you tell us. Even if you go behind Madam Linda, you go and DM Madam Linda. If we not see evidence, me personally, I have coconut head. I might not answer because you're not showing proof. You want to scale up or do something, but you find it hard to fill the form that they tell you to fill. That is already a red flag. So please, let's do better. And note again, Zuri Circle is now Zuri Circle Network. Follow us on all our socials. We are over 600 on that group, and not even half of us are following our socials, or we are not even subscribed to the YouTube channel. These things for now, they are free. These things for now, they are free. Note that. Enjoy it while it lasts. You know, like we said, we are revolving, we are moving. But Amanda mentioned we're moving into tech. We have our website, visit our website. All these links will be in the community. And if you are yet to join the community, join the community. You can join from our Instagram. We're going to send out a newsletter very soon. The link to join the community will be on that newsletter. And on this note, also, before we go off. We are also open to collaborating with community members and even people within our network. So we have community partners, and look out for one of our community partners coming up. I think by Monday we'll do the announcement, and this is also in collaboration to celebrate International Women's Day. Zuri Circle is also going to host an accountability circle celebrating International Women's Day, of course. But we're going to give us further details and more details on that. Thank you so much for staying with us. Since some people were already here before 10 a.m. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the network. Thank you for taking the bet on yourself. Just thank you for keeping the vision of Zuri Circle Network alive. And do not forget, don't enjoy this by yourself. Invite somebody. Tell somebody to join the community. Spread the word, right? Sometimes it's better to have people around you who share the same vision as you. So yeah. And also, if you need an accountability partner, you can reach out to any of the admins. We can pair you up with somebody to hold you accountable. Thank you, Madam Linda, for saying yes to this mandate. Thank you, Zuri Circle team members, for making this happen, for making this meeting hold today. Thank you for sticking through it, through the electricity issues, through everything. Thank you. And I'll say we have closed the accountability circuit. Thank you so much. Have a great Saturday. Bye.